post, a moment in real life, and something shifted inside you. Not anger exactly, not sadness, something quieter, more uncomfortable, a feeling you didn't ask for and couldn't explain away. You told yourself it was nothing, but it stayed with you. And that staying, that's what we need to talk about. Person sitting at a window, looking out, unfocused. Here's what that feeling actually does to you. It doesn't just arrive and leave. It starts rewriting things. You look at your own life differently. What felt okay this morning suddenly feels insufficient. The progress you made last week feels smaller. The person you are right now feels not quite enough. And that's the part nobody talks about. It's not just envy of what they have. It's a quiet erosion of who you thought you were. You start making comparisons you know aren't fair. You replay moments, conversations, decisions, missed opportunities. You wonder if something is fundamentally wrong with your path or with you. And maybe the most painful part, you feel ashamed of feeling it at all because you're supposed to be happy for people, because you know better, because you're working on yourself. So you add guilt on top of the discomfort, and now you're carrying both. Abstract ripple effect on water, slow and expanding. But here's the first thing I want you to understand. This feeling is not evidence of a character flaw. It is evidence of a functioning threat detection system. The human brain evolved in tribal environments where status and belonging were survival tools, not just social preferences. When someone else gained resources, skills, or recognition that you lacked, your brain registered it as a potential threat to your position in the group. Jealousy at its core is your brain's ancient alarm system saying something important to your survival may be at risk. That doesn't make it comfortable, but it makes it understandable. You are not broken. You are running very old software in a very modern world, not because it is wrong, but because the brain is comparing position, not progress. That is the mechanism. And once you understand it, you stop being controlled by it. An empty room with morning sunlight coming through a window. So what do you actually do with this? Not suppress it, not perform gratitude over it, not shame yourself out of it. Here is a framework grounded in how the brain actually changes. The first step is accurate labeling. Research in effective neuroscience, particularly work by Lisa Feldman Barrett, shows that the more precisely you name an emotion, the less power it has over your behavior. Not, I feel bad, not, I'm upset. Specifically, I feel threatened. I feel like I'm falling behind. I feel afraid that what I want may not happen for me. When you label with precision, you activate the prefrontal cortex and reduce amygdala reactivity. You move from being inside the feeling to being able to observe it. In practice, when jealousy arrives, sit with it for 60 seconds and name what it's actually made of. Fear, longing, self-doubt, grief. Usually it's a combination, with one sentence written on an open page. The second step is extracting the signal. Jealousy doesn't fire randomly. You are never jealous of things you genuinely don't want. This is crucial. The emotion is pointing directly at a desire your conscious mind may not have fully admitted yet. Ask yourself, what specifically am I responding to? Not the person, the thing, the quality, the outcome. That answer is valuable information about your own values and unlived direction. It is not a verdict on your worth. It is a map of your wants. The third step is separating position from trajectory. The brain defaults to snapshot thinking. Where are they? Where am I right now? But human development doesn't work in snapshots. It works in trajectories. Psychologists call this the distinction between state and growth. Where you are is a state, where you are going is a trajectory. Someone can be ahead of you in state and behind you in trajectory. Someone can look further along on the outside while being stagnant in ways you cannot see. When jealousy fires, consciously redirect the question, not, why are they there and I'm not? But, am I still moving? Is my trajectory honest? Slow aerial view of a path through a forest. The fourth step is converting activation into direction. The threat appraisal system releases cortisol and adrenaline. That is biological energy. It exists in your body. If you don't redirect it, it becomes rumination, which neuroscience consistently links to depression and anxiety. If you redirect it, it becomes motivation. Specifically, what researchers call envious drive, the version that improves performance rather than corroding well-being. The practical move is simple but requires intention. Within a few hours of feeling jealousy, do one small thing toward what it pointed at, not to compete, not to catch up. To honor the signal, a phone call, a page written, A single hour of focused work, small enough to actually do, meaningful enough to change the internal narrative. The fifth step is returning to your own timeline. This is perhaps the hardest and the most necessary. The brain evolved to monitor social comparison constantly, but your life is not being lived in comparison to anyone else's. It is being lived inside your own specific context, history, and timing. Every time jealousy pulls you into someone else's timeline, you are borrowing their story to measure your own, and it will never fit, because it was never yours. The work is to keep returning, gently, without force, back to your own pace, your own progress, your own direction. Waves moving slowly toward shore, then retreating. Here is the one idea I want you to hold on to. Jealousy is a compass with a faulty display. The direction it points is real. It is showing you something you care about. But the distance it implies is distorted. It is not an accurate measure of how far you are or how long it will take. Use the direction. Don't trust the distance. Person alone by a window, light slowly brightening. You are going to feel this again. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. And when you do, you will have a choice you didn't have before. Not to eliminate the feeling, but to understand what it is made of, to extract what it is pointing at, and to return quietly to your own path. That is not a small thing. Most people spend years being moved by this feeling without ever understanding it. You don't have to be